For 50 years, the United States has enjoyed a privilege that no other nation in history has ever possessed. We have been able to print infinite amounts of money without suffering hyperinflation. We can run massive deficits, fight endless wars, and consume more than we produce. Most people think it's because of our military or our technology. But the real reason is a secret agreement made in the shadows of the Arabian Desert in 1974. The world had just suffered a massive oil shock. The US needed stability. Saudi Arabia needed protection. So, a deal was struck. The US agreed to protect the House of Saud militarily. In exchange, Saudi Arabia agreed to price every single barrel of oil sold to the world exclusively in US dollars. This was the birth of the petrodollar. Think about what that means. Oil is the lifeblood of the global economy. Every country needs it, and to buy it they first had to acquire US dollars. This created an artificial, insatiable global demand for American currency. Nations around the world were forced to hoard dollars in their central banks just to keep their lights on. This system turned the dollar into a global weapon. It allowed the US to export its inflation to the rest of the world. When the Federal Reserve printed trillions, it didn't just dilute the savings of Americans, it diluted the savings of the entire planet. We got the goods, they got the paper. It was the greatest financial magic trick ever performed. But power is addictive. And eventually, the US started abusing this privilege. In recent years, Washington began using the dollar not just as a tool of trade, but as a tool of war. Sanctions, asset freezes, cutting nations off from the SWIFT banking system. When the US froze hundreds of billions of dollars of Russian sovereign assets in 2022, a shockwave went through the global capitals. Every nation outside of the Western alliance realized something terrifying. If they can do it to Russia, a nuclear power, they can do it to us. Your dollars are not yours if the US government can turn them off with a switch. The trust was broken. And once trust is gone in finance, it never returns. This overreach triggered a global revolt. The Global South, led by China and Russia, realized they needed an insurance policy against American power. They needed an alternative system. Enter the BRICS alliance. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And now, joined by major energy producers like Iran and the UAE. For decades, BRICS was just an acronym. Now, it is an economic battering ram. These countries control the majority of the world's resources, the majority of the world's population, and crucial manufacturing hubs. They are now actively trading oil, gas, and goods in their own currencies, yuan, rubles, rupees, bypassing the dollar entirely. This overreach triggered a global revolt. The Global South, led by China and Russia, realized they needed an insurance policy against American power. They needed an alternative system. Enter the BRICS alliance. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And now, joined by major energy producers like Iran and the UAE. For decades, BRICS was just an acronym. Now, it is an economic battering ram. These countries control the majority of the world's resources, the majority of the world's population, and crucial manufacturing hubs. They are now actively trading oil, gas, and goods in their own currencies, yuan, rubles, rupees, bypassing the dollar entirely. So what happens now? It won't happen overnight like a movie. It will be a slow, painful bleed. As the world needs fewer dollars to trade, those trillions of dollars currently circulating overseas will start coming home. When that flood of money hits the US domestic economy, we will face a crisis we haven't seen since the 1970s, perhaps worse. Higher inflation, higher interest rates, and a lower standard of living. The American empire wasn't built on land, it was built on a financial arrangement. That arrangement is now dead. We are witnessing the end of an era and the birth of a multipolar, chaotic new world.